Very well.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite Call of Duty games, Call of Duty 3. Call of Duty 3 was released in 2005 for the original Xbox. I'm sure you guys know what that is. I just always like to add original just to make sure that everyone understands. Call of Duty 3 is when Call of Duty was all about World War II shooters, and it came out on what I think is one of the best Xbox consoles. You know, besides the Xbox 360. Now, Call of Duty 3 isn't really a standout from the rest of the series nowadays, but at its time, it had the best graphics out of all the other Call of Duty games, and in my opinion, it had a better story than the first two. You know, it still takes place in World War II, of course, but it has new characters, and it's legitimately a very fun game. So it has good characters, a pretty neat story, even though, you know, the stories can't get that deep because it's World War II, and, you know, it's really happened, so, you know. But another thing I like about this is its focus on realism. This had some battles that were real, and that's so cool. And just like in Wolfenstein, it had castle-like environments, which is another reason why I like it a lot. This game reminds me a lot of Wolfenstein 2009, except, you know, I'm pretty sure Wolfenstein 2009 took a little bit of inspiration from this, because it came out in 2009, as it says in the name. Now, I do like this game a lot because of the gameplay as well. I mean, there's a bunch of different weapons you can get, and there's even sections where you drive around in a Jeep while people shoot out the back of your truck, and it reminded me of the Warthog sections from Halo. Combat Evolved, of course. And I absolutely love that about this game. And it's one of the reasons why I like it so much. Now, let's talk about Call of Duty as a whole. Call of Duty as a whole has had some very good games, and it's had some very not so good games. For example, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War came out very recently, or not really very recently, it came out a couple years ago, but it still holds up pretty well. I personally think it's one of the better modern Call of Duty games, and I liked it a lot. Now let's look at Vanguard. Vanguard is very similar to this, and I feel like that's one of the only reasons it was made. To, you know, have a nostalgia factor for games like this. Same with, that's what World War II did, except World War II has given us nostalgia at this point in time because it came out quite a while ago. Now, this game, it will always be better than Vanguard. Sure, Vanguard has better graphics than this, but as far as the story and everything goes, it was very weird. Like, it had a timeline that didn't actually happen in World War II, and with World War II shooters, that really bothers me. Plus, in that, you had these big squads of people fighting, and sure, that was true on the battlefield, but in this, it wasn't really battlefields, it was like operations and stuff, and you still had big armies. In this, however, it's a lot more realistic to history, in that you only have a few people taking on a whole lot of Nazis, which I really like, because that is historically accurate, and that adds on to the realism of the game. Proving that even though the graphics aren't as good as this one, it's still a lot more realistic than the other one, you know, gameplay-wise. Now, let's talk about the environments you fight in. The environments you fight in are absolutely amazing. There's houses, there's rivers, there's burning cities, there's just straight up battlefields. And I love that, because you get to really dive into what made the war, all the different things that happened in it, all the weapons, all the bonds between soldiers. And from the very beginning of the game, you really feel like you're right there in the combat. Well, you know, kind of. And that's another thing that made old Call of Duty so much better than new Call of Duty. They really cared about making you feel like you were really in the shoes of a World War II soldier. And on top of that, it had mini games that you could play, like tilt the right stick to row a boat, or tap down the A button to get the German off. It was really cool, I think, and I just really liked that style of gameplay with it, and I think that Activision really did good then. Now, am I saying this is the best Call of Duty game? No, definitely not. I couldn't pick a good, sorry, not good, my favorite Call of Duty game. But this was my first Call of Duty game, so that's why I have a little bit of bias when I'm talking about it. And you will hear that if I do ever make a review on Black Ops 2, which I'm telling you guys, it's probably coming soon. Probably. Now, this game had a lot to compete with. A lot of World War II shooters, like Medal of Honor, Halo. That wasn't World War II, but you get the point. You could look through my original Xbox games collection, and the majority of what you see are World War II shooters. And that's because at the time, that was one of the only wars that people made games about, which I can kind of understand because it is a pretty good topic to make a war on. So, because, you know, that is a world war as it states, and it happened all over the world, which, you know, I feel like one of the reasons it's so profited off of is because, you know, you can release it in any country, people know what you're talking about, unlike the American Civil War, you can only release that in America. But, yeah guys, that's all I wanted to say about this video. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.